The psychology of self-sabotage. Why you stop yourself from succeeding. You set a goal. You're motivated. You know what you want. But just when success is within reach, something happens. You pull back. You procrastinate. You miss deadlines. You lash out. You quit. And it feels like a mystery. Why would you stop yourself from achieving what you say you want? This frustrating pattern is known as self-sabotage, and it's more common and more deeply rooted than most people realize. Let's dive into the psychology of self-sabotage and discover why we sometimes become our own worst enemy, how it shows up in our everyday lives, and, most importantly, what we can do to stop it. What is self-sabotage? Self-sabotage refers to thoughts, behaviors, or actions that hold you back from achieving your goals. It's when you consciously or unconsciously interfere with your own progress. This can be subtle, like constantly checking your phone while working, or obvious, like giving up on a long-held dream just before success. At its core, self-sabotage is about fear, limiting beliefs, and unresolved emotional patterns. Understanding these triggers is the first step toward reclaiming your potential. The deep psychological roots of self-sabotage. So where does this behavior come from? 1. Fear of failure. Many people fear failure not because they don't believe in their goal, but because they can't handle what failure might mean about their worth. Rather than risk disappointment, they self-destruct early. At least then the failure feels like a choice. 2. Fear of success. This sounds strange, but it's real. Success often means change, more visibility, more responsibility, higher expectations. For some, this is overwhelming. They sabotage their progress to avoid stepping into a bigger, unfamiliar version of themselves. 3. Low self-esteem. If you don't believe you're good enough or deserving, you'll act in ways that reinforce that belief. Self-sabotage can be a subconscious way of validating low self-worth. 4. Imposter syndrome. Even high achievers struggle with feeling like frauds. When you believe your success is a fluke, you might subconsciously undermine it, so people won't find out you're not really qualified. 5. Childhood conditioning. Sometimes self-sabotage is learned early. Maybe you were told not to outshine others, or you had a parent who minimized your accomplishments. You grow up believing that standing out is dangerous and that safety lies in staying small. Common ways self-sabotage shows up in life. Self-sabotage is sneaky. It disguises itself as harmless habits or just the way I am. But its effects are destructive. Here's how it often shows up. Procrastination. Waiting until the last minute creates stress and poor results. Proof you can't handle it. Perfectionism. If it can't be perfect, you won't do it at all. So you freeze instead of making progress. Overcommitting. Taking on too much ensures burnout, then you can't follow through. Negative self-talk. You constantly tell yourself you'll never succeed, reinforcing failure. Sabotaging relationships. Picking fights, pushing people away, or choosing partners who don't treat you well. The role of the subconscious mind. Most self-sabotaging behaviors are driven by your subconscious mind. That's the part of your brain responsible for automatic beliefs and patterns. It runs like a program based on past experiences. If deep down you associate success with rejection, judgment, or pressure, your subconscious will protect you by preventing it. The problem is your subconscious doesn't care if the belief is true or helpful. It only cares if it's familiar. So unless you reprogram it, you'll keep falling into the same patterns. Why we feel safe in sabotage. Sabotage feels safe because it's predictable. Change, even good change, can feel threatening. If you grew up in chaos or were told success would make others jealous, achieving your goals can feel like a betrayal of your past identity. So you stay where it's comfortable, even if it's miserable. This is why people often say things like, "Every time I get close to love, I mess it up. I always quit right when things start going well. Success just doesn't feel like me." These aren't flaws. They're signs of inner conflict, and they can be healed. How to break free from self-sabotage. The good news? You're not doomed. Self-sabotage is a pattern, not a personality trait. And like all patterns, it can be changed. 1. Increase self-awareness. Notice when and how you sabotage yourself. Keep a journal. Track behaviors, thoughts, and triggers. 2. Identify the root beliefs. Ask yourself, what am I afraid will happen if I succeed? Often the answer will surprise you. 3. Reframe the narrative. Challenge the beliefs that fuel sabotage. Replace "I'll never be good enough" with "I deserve growth and success." 4. Set realistic goals. Break your goals into smaller steps. This reduces overwhelm and makes success feel manageable. 5. Practice self-compassion. Stop beating yourself up. Self-sabotage often stems from shame. Healing begins with kindness toward yourself. 6. Surround yourself with support. Talk to people who uplift and believe in you. Sometimes we need to borrow belief until we build our own. 7. Work with a therapist or coach. A professional can help you uncover hidden patterns and guide you toward healthier choices. When you stop sabotaging, life opens up. Imagine what your life would look like if you stopped getting in your own way. The relationships you'd nourish. The goals you'd achieve. The peace you'd feel. You already have everything you need. The talent, the drive, the potential, it's all there. The only thing standing in your way is the story you've been told or told yourself about what you're capable of. Final thoughts. The psychology of self-sabotage is powerful, but so is your ability to change. Once you understand the fear behind your behavior, you take away its control. You learn to trust yourself. You begin to act in alignment with who you want to become, not who you used to be. So next time you find yourself pulling back just as you're about to succeed, pause. Ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? And then take one small step forward anyway. That's how change begins, not with perfection but with awareness and action. Because the truth is, you're not broken. You're just learning how to stop fighting yourself and start fighting for yourself.